So, are you ready to hear some great true hospital/nursing ghost stories? I'm ready. Scully, he may be ready, but we're going to tell him anyway. Well, hello, my spooky friends. Yeah, Scully is. We had an argument, okay? You can kind of see he's not looking. We got into it. It happens. This is a relationship. And, he's just not speaking. Whatever. I'm still going to tell you some ghost stories, and maybe, just maybe, he'll listen a little bit. I love the stuff that you've been sending in. It's great, so please keep sending it. I get a lot of comments, so sometimes things get buried. You can also email me at avelincottage@gmail.com. Now, I did find some of your stuff that people sent in a long time ago that got buried in a bunch of just, junk email. So I will be bringing those to you very, very soon. All right, let's get to the first one. This is by Gling17. Not saying that I believe in death as a being or a black shadow shape, but I had something freaky happen right after my mother died. Have never had anything like this happen before or since, and I hope to never experience it again. I have never told anyone what I'm about to tell you, but since we are on this subject, here goes. My mom had died and I was living alone in the house where she died. One night, I went to sleep, exhausted from work, and had the scariest dream. I guess it was a dream, anyway. It seemed very real, though. I could see myself down on my bed asleep. It was like I was floating above or something. A great big black shape, like it was wearing a black hooded cloak, came into my room and stood over my body on the bed. It kept getting closer and closer to me. I started to panic and was trying to wake myself up, and then I snapped awake in real life, gasping for air and fumbling for the light. I got it turned on and nothing was there. I had really expected that thing to be in the room. It was like I could feel its presence. No idea what this even meant. It was probably caused by all of the emotional pain and stress I was going through from losing my mom, but I'll never know for sure. Completely terrifying, whatever it was. All right, well, here's the thing. I feel like that you were probably in a twilight kind of state where you are half awake and half asleep. And in this dreamlike state, a lot of times we sense the presence, like it's almost, it thins the veil. I've had experiences like this where literally I knew it wasn't a dream. Was it something in there? Was it grief? Was it something that was drawn to you because of your sadness? I don't know. I think if it was a dream, you would absolutely know. Most likely, from what I've read and my own experiences, I would say you were probably seeing into the spirit realm. Don't necessarily know that it was a ghost, but I think it was something. And I understand, like, nobody wants to have those experiences. I've had some terrifying ones. So I hope that you are doing better and that, you don't have any more visitors. Thank you for submitting that one. Okay, look, I know y'all are thinking that I'm deformed. Look at this thing. I got bit by something and it is swollen. I don't know what to do with it. Look, that's horrible. I don't know what that is. Anyway, try not to judge my disfigurement. Okay? But what you gonna do? Let's go to the next story. Okay, this one is by Melissa. My father-in-law was born with alpha-1 and autoimmune disease. In his later years, he had cirrhosis of the liver, and I've only seen him have 2 beers in 14 years, so definitely not from alcohol. He received a liver transplant about 3 years ago, and later a kidney transplant also. He is doing very well, but his personality has changed a bit. Nothing extreme or negative, but he just has a little different personality. It's hard to put my finger on, and all of the family agrees on it. I can't help but wonder, does it have something to do with that person's parts? I know that sounds totally crazy, but it's strange. Yeah, I mean, it is strange, but the thing of it is it happens. We've said this before. If y'all have any experiences, family members, friends, or whatever, and you know that they have really changed, personality since an organ transplant, put it in the comments because this is a very common thing that people experience. And there's just more to our body soul connection than we understand. All right. We don't get it. But a lot of people have, food cravings they've never had before and personality changes. So, yeah, I think it could definitely be possibly related to that for sure. And this is by Lisa Marie, 732. Look, it's been days since the holidays, and they're still shooting off fireworks. Lisa Marie, 732. Three knocks is evil mocking the Holy Trinity. The dark side is also attracted to pain, sadness, and anger. So this is why they hang around us when we are emotionally in pain. Now, this was in response to, us asking what are the three knocks that people hear, and some people say it's a good thing, and other people say it's not. I don't know whether it's good or evil. There are a lot of explanations. But this, going back to our first story, talking about things being attracted to us when we are emotionally in pain, that could be what happened in that dreamlike state, Gling. So, it's something to think about. Okay, and this one is Bronte on 6TM. Right. Okay, someone whispering your name in your ear is not always bad. Oh, it is for me. Every time. About 30 years ago, I was traveling on an interstate highway from Washington, D.C. to central New York. I was overtired because I had not slept well in D.C. Suddenly, I heard a voice right next to my right ear that loudly whispered, Linda, which is my name. I then realized that I had been falling asleep at the wheel and somebody woke me up. I am forever grateful for that. Oh, wow. Now, okay. All right. I'm going to take back what I said. That kind of whisper, it would probably scare me, but that kind of whisper is a good thing. And I don't think that was a ghost, or I think that was probably an angel. That's what I believe. And, kept you from falling asleep at the wheel, definitely think it was an angelic being watching over you. That is a cool story. And yeah, I guess if angels want to warn me about something, they should have warned me about my ex-husband. But no, I didn't get any warnings for that. But of course, if you want to save my life, I guess that will be okay. Okay, this is not a ghost story, but this was submitted by a healthcare worker. And look, I think if you are in healthcare, you really need to hear this one. Eunice Stone, 6532. I once had an old lady that had fallen and broke her hip. I was a new CNA and shadowed the other ones. The old lady was very weak, and her family just knew she was a goner. On my break, I went into her room to eat my lunch, since she was alone and her tray was there. Now, she's not eating her food, okay? Let me make that clear in this story. The CNAs just wrote every day that she refused and wouldn't eat. After a few bites of my sandwich, I opened my thermos of soup. Suddenly, she said, "Give me a bite." I looked at her tray, and she had a regular diet, so I propped her up, and she ate all of my soup and that other half of my turkey sandwich. Wow. Suddenly, she said, "That's the first thing I've eaten since I've been here." Well, let me tell you, I notified the nursing supervisor. The crap hit the fan, as it should. After that, her family started bringing her favorite food, and us CNAs that cared would stuff her with Ensure and ice cream. 3 weeks later, she rode the wheelchair down to get to go home. At the door, she stopped us and made us let her have her walker. She walked out of that hospital. I got a commendation for that case. Such a sweet person. Yeah, that's the thing. And a lot of times in healthcare, you don't have people that care. And let this just be a lesson to y'all. Just because someone is laying there and they don't seem responsive and they're not eating, like, go that extra mile, okay? Put in a little effort. At first I thought she was just waking up before she passed because we in healthcare, we know they do that. But no, this woman just needed to be fed. Feed the woman. Feed your patients. Make the effort, okay? I just wanted to include that because that is an incredible story, and I'm glad you got a commendation for that. Kind of ticks me off that nobody else did it. Okay, but she did include a ghost story. One night, all was quiet, and we were sitting around the desk charting, and suddenly the power went out. Just a quick off and on. Then suddenly, every call light in the whole place went off. It had never done that. Ever. The next day, we lost 3 patients. None of them died any kind of dramatic death, but each one was found after each round after meals. It was creepy. Yeah, sometimes when we have a power surge, all your call lights, like the little electric just goes off. But if it had never done that before, I don't know. But the fact that you had 3 deaths the next day, that's a little creepy. I agree. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think it was just the electric, because of the power surge? Or was it like an omen? You tell me. This one is by World Class Traveler 3530. I was a fairly new nurse when I got pregnant with my 5th baby. Oh my goodness. 5th. Wow. And a new nurse. Jeez. I was so worried about her. I used to cry because the doctor said that she was going to be special needs. Oh. I was dead asleep one night until I was abruptly woken up. I saw the lady in white. I thought I was dreaming, so I closed my eyes and reopened them. I sat there and stared at her. She smiled. Somehow, after that, something changed. I can't quite explain it. It was a lot less calm and stressed. The next thing I knew, she was born normal. So I think in this case, again, we are probably not talking about ghosts. Maybe the lady in white was an angel, just trying to calm you down, giving you some kind of peace because you weren't scared, to let you know, hey, it's going to be okay. I think that is a beautiful story. I really do. And I'm glad everything turned out okay. Girl with 5 kids, you got your hands full. Okay, our next story comes from Rachel Pate, 6778. I worked as a CNA for over 30 years. In a nursing home that I worked at, the call light kept going off in an empty room. Seemed like everyone we put in that room died quickly after arriving. So we kept the room empty and the light kept going off. Oh my gosh. We would go in there and turn it off, but within 20 minutes, it was back on again. It was the night shift, so we knew no one else was in there. It was creepy for sure. Another time, a coworker and myself were doing rounds at night. From out of nowhere, a pin came flying at us. Wow. We checked all the rooms. No one was. Yeah, that is creepy when a pin comes flying at you. And I know that some people say, well, the call light was faulty, and they do that sometimes. When I've worked in places, maintenance always said they had no idea, but they would work on it and make it stop. But the thing of it is, is that it wasn't just the call light, it was the fact that everyone was passing in that room. Now, I have heard stories of uh, nursing homes or whatever that have actually done an exorcism on a room or just refused to put anybody in that room because they had the same problem. People who were, put in were doing good, they were stable, great, next thing you know, passed away. And you do have to wonder what the heck is in those rooms. It is very, very creepy. I think this is Donna Tim. I worked in a place where a specific room's call light would come on frequently while it was empty. Yeah, I've seen that too, a lot. So sometimes it's electric and sometimes it's supernatural, okay? So here's the thing, if maintenance can't fix it, call a priest, okay? All right, this one is by Bell 501. My grandfather kept seeing a black dog when he was in hospice. What? He kept saying, "Does anyone else see that black dog right there on the edge of my bed?" He had a checkered past, but I know he was saved. Well, that's good. He also had a black poodle for a long time. We wondered if it could be her, but I think he would have said her name if it were. He was on a bunch of morphine and dying of leukemia. We'd love to know if there are any other black dog sightings in hospitals. Wow. Um, I have never heard of a black dog. I have heard people say in houses they heard dogs barking, as I have in another house that I lived in. That was a whole nother story. But not in the hospital, a black dog on the bed. So, that what do y'all think? Is that something you've ever heard of? Maybe cats. I've heard more of cats stories and, when someone is passing. I hope it was his poodle. I hope that was her and maybe he just didn't make enough sense to, realize or but didn't say her name. I'm going with that was his dog. So I don't want to know about any black dogs in the hospital, okay? But if you've ever heard of it, let me know. All right, that's all I've got for today. If you like videos like this, hit the thumbs up. Maybe it will put Scully in a better mood. Maybe he'll talk to me. I don't know. And also, if you like true crime, I have another channel. It's called Silky Southern Tea. So if you like crime, you like advocacy, that kind of stuff, then you can check that one out. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you soon. Whatever you do, just remember to what? Stay spooky. Bye-bye.